Y'all already know what it is. Jay Williams, Let's Live Life, and we're back. How are you locked up for stealing? Then you come to prison and start stealing from the prison. How is your hustle robbing the prison and selling the things you rob from the prison to the inmates? Like Robin Hood stealing from the poor and giving, stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. I ain't gonna lie, them dudes made a lot of money. But you would think that when you get locked up for something, you would learn your lesson. Nah. A lot of these dudes, it's just on to the next chapter. On to the next song. On to the next book. I done met some thieving ass dudes. No doubt, man. I done met some dudes that could steal the rings off your finger, the watch off your hand, and you never even know it. But to go to prison and start stealing everything that ain't bolted down and selling it, that's a whole different level of thief. Today we're going to get into these prison thieves and these guys that survived and made their hustle off of the things the prison provided. From commissary to the library to the child hall. Y'all know I done seen it. Y'all know I done lived it. So let's relive it. A lot of people have the misconception that because you're locked up, you're going to eat good. You're not going to go hungry. The prison and the jail, they're going to make sure that you're full. That is not the case. They're going to feed you, and they're going to feed you the bare minimum. They're going to feed you what they decide to put on the tray and how much they decide to put on the tray. Commissary is a very big thing. If you think that your loved one or someone locked up is being taken well care of and eating good off of just a state tray, that's not the case. If you do not have commissary, something to eat when the stomach gets to rumbling, you're going to suffer. You're going to feel the pains. You're going to take in the full effect of being in prison. Every prison I've ever been in, every jail, they all have a commissary. And the way it works in the jail is you fill out this sheet. It's a bubble sheet. You bubble in the numbers, and you got a separate sheet. It's got all the items listed, the prices, and a 4-digit code beside it. You bubble this in on the bubble sheet, then bubble the amount, write your name at the top, bubble in your inmate number, they scan it through a machine, and if you have money on your books, you're eligible, they fill your commissary order. In the jail, here in VA and in Philly, they would bring the bags to the pod, and they would call your name. Williams, come get your commissary. You go up there, they pull out your receipt, they hand you your items. That's how it goes. In prison, it's different. In prison, you actually go to a separate building, a separate, section of the prison. Same thing. You fill out the bubble sheet. You go to the window. There's usually a commissary lady or man, whichever. Most times it was a woman that works in this place where all this food is, like a 7-Eleven with a whole lot less options and a whole lot of ramen noodles. And you walk up, you give them your ID, they pull your order, you stand there with your bag, they push the things you ordered, count them off through the window, and you put them in your bag, throw your bag over your shoulder, and you head back to your building. That is by far one of the greatest jobs that you can ever get while working in the prison. Hands down, it is one of the best jobs that the Department of Corrections has to offer. Now, due to the sensitivity of the subject, I'm going to leave the particular prisons and names out of this here story today. But it's something I need to give y'all because you need to know. You need to understand. We had one of the places I was at, I started noticing something. I started noticing that dudes that did not have a lot of money and did not spend a lot of money were smoking real good. Like, I know, bro, you ain't got but maybe $30 to your name. How do you have all this tobacco? that at the time the prison sold. How do you have all that? And $60, $70 worth of food. When I know damn well you ain't having $30 to spend. I get put onto the game. There's a dude working commissary, and his hustle is you spend a little bit of money with the commissary, but have your people shoot some money to his books or shoot some money to his family on the streets, $50, $60, whatever y'all agree on. And he's going to give you double that, and then he's going to look out some more, right? So say your people sent $50 of his books, and you spent $30 at commissary. You can go over there. The lady might be standing back while he pushes your items out the window. Instead of giving you 20 soups, he's going to give you 50. Instead of giving you 2 bags of tobacco, he's going to give you 5. Instead of giving you a carton of Newports, he's going to give you 2. This dude, to say the least, didn't want or need for nothing. He had more money coming in on his books to his account in the prison than he knew what to do with. He was also putting stuff in people's bags. Hey, I'm going to throw some extra soups in your bag. Hold it for me until I get back to the pod. Hey, I threw an extra carton of cigarettes in that bag. I'm going to push it out the window. Hold it for me. I'll come by your cell and get it when I get back to the pod. Hey, these 30 bags of chips I'm about to give you, those are for me. You keep 5 of them. I'm going to grab the other 25 when I get back to the pod. So when you would walk in his cell, it was like walking in a damn convenience store. Man had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of sodas. He had everything that commissary had to offer. He had food when nobody else had food. We could go on lockdown, a major shakedown, be in our cell 2-3 weeks, and there's no possible way this man can run through all his food. So he store-boxed as well, was getting his hustle on. Y'all already know, I've told y'all, when you're trying to do things you shouldn't do, it always ends bad. Very few people have retired from a life of crime. Very few people can say, I live in a big mansion, look at my house. I used to sell drugs, or I used to do this, or I used to rob banks, or I used to steal, and this is what I got from it, and I didn't go to prison. Well, guys get locked up, a large majority of them, where there's a will, there's a way, are going to find a crack to wiggle through, right? He gets greedy. Now, they come in every so often, and they do inventory. When they do this particular inventory, and they've come up short a couple times, but when they do this particular inventory, they are short. And they're not short a little bit. I'm talking, they're short thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars on tobacco. They are short, Lord knows how much money on food. And all this stuff is checked in. So you know that if, you know, it's got to be going somewhere. Well, he's trying to cover his tracks by saying this was open, and they write it off as damaged, so they throw it away. Well, now it's 1 or 2 things opened, okay. 60 bags of tobacco open? Nah, we're not really trying to hear that, right? The commissary lady swears to God, because she's supposed to be watching as he pushes the things out the window. If she's not watching, she loses her job. So now she's got to lie and say there's no possible way that he's giving anybody anything he shouldn't be giving them. I watch. I take count. I'm right there beside him. When most times she would be sitting back behind him, kicked back in a chair, staring off into space, or just twiddling her thumbs, twirling her hair, whatever, not paying no attention. While meanwhile, he's just here, take this, take this, take this. It's like going to 7-Eleven, buying 1 pack of cigarettes, and they give you 5. Eventually, when you go to do the next order, they're going to be like, where the hell all these cigarettes go, right? Dude I know, his job is to push this trash can from the building over to the loading dock. They empty it. He pushes the trash can back to the building, and that's where we dump all our trash. There's several of these trash cans where I live at in this pod, right? The guy that works commissary, they get left over with a whole lot of trash. All the wrapping that the soups come wrapped in, the little cardboard containers the sodas sit in, the empty packs of Newports, the empty packs of, you know, the boxes, the cartons come in, Marlboro cartons. It's a lot of trash that piles up real fast. So they are sending trash out 3-4 times a day to go get compacted, right? Dude takes a trash can one day, fills it full of cigarettes, bags of tobacco, sausages, cheese, pickles, you name it. These are all, packs of tuna. These are all high value items. Everything I just named to you, except for the pickles, all these things cost $2, $3 or better, right? He fills the trash can full of all this stuff, puts trash on top of it. The other 2 trash cans are full, rolls them out in the hallway. The hall guy takes them, pushes them on a trash compactor, brings them back. They pull the empty trash cans back in, go back to doing commissary. Well, he's got it set up where the hall guy's not going to touch his trash can. The man that goes from his building where he lives at to the trash compactor is going to swap trash cans on his way back and take the full trash can back to the building, right? I hear about what's going on. I get my fingers mixed up in it. Yeah, I need to buy some of that tobacco. Y'all got half price on everything. Like, they're kingpinning on the penitentiary's dollar, right? This continues to take place for a while. The commissary lady is putting it on. Y'all aren't sending us the right amount of stuff. A lot of stuff is being damaged. She is covering dude's ass to keep her job. She knows chances are that he's responsible for it. But in her telling them that, like I said, he's doing this, she's going to lose her job. Dude is pushing the trash can back one day. And like I said, this has been taking place for many, many months now. And as he's going in the building, a guard comes by him. The trash can is supposed to be empty. Otherwise, why did you just go take this trash can over there and return with a full trash can? Inmate, why is the trash can full? Man, it's too many people over at the loading dock, or they got something going on with the machine. Whatever shit he shot them, it didn't work. The guards are not stupid. Some of them are. A large majority of them are not. And you got some top flight security guards in there. You know what I mean? Guys that just couldn't hack it anywhere else, so they take this job too serious. Guard starts fumbling through the trash and realizes the first bag on top is actual trash, lifts it, and this is a trash can full of food. This is a trash can bagged up full of cigarettes, full of batteries, full of stamps. All these things are accounted for, right? Calls the people down. They go ahead and lock him up. They head back over to commissary. Meanwhile, the commissary guys are still in there, pushing stuff out the window. Commissary lady sitting behind him in the chair, right? They roll up in there, confront him, and confront the commissary lady. Commissary lady says, I was sitting here. I didn't put anything in the trash. Why would I be sending stuff back to the building? They know it's the guy, but she's the boss, so they got to holler at her first. There's levels to this shit. They holler at old boy, and old boy's like, nah, hell no. No, they had to get that from somewhere else. Maybe somebody in another building owed him or something. I don't know what's going on, but it didn't come out of here. On the side of the trash can is spray painted the word commissary. So they know that trash can belongs to the commissary. It's on wheels. The trash cans that came out of our pod had 7 building, 100 pods, spray painted, stenciled right on the side of it, right? So the whole it didn't come out of here thing isn't going to work. They lock him up. Take the woman, tell her, finish all, they let her finish her day, and then at the end of the day, they fire her. We get a new commissary guy. When I'm telling you it ends bad, it ends bad. They end up coming through our entire building, and they go sell for selling. Guys keep their commissary receipts. It's very common. Some guys would use them to roll up cigarettes and stuff like that if they were poor, because it's a receipt. It's really thin. They come sell to sell and do a count on everybody's commissary. Let me see your receipts. Now, I got stuff left over from, 2 months ago. That's cool. I'm not saying you don't. Pull your receipts out. They've done pulled the records at commissary, so they can tell you how much food you should and shouldn't have. All the store-box guys that made a living off of loaning food out with the marked up price, you get 2 soups, give me back 4. You get 2 soups, give me back 3, whatever you decide to work out with the deal. Lost all the commissary. Lost all their profit. Guys end up getting caught with things they're not supposed to have. Knives, phones, drugs. One guy's action shut us all down. When I'm telling you, where there's a will, there's a way. There's some sneaky ass dudes in prison. You ain't seen sneaky until you've seen a guy that for months on hand can smuggle an entire trash can on wheels back to the pod undetected, full of food and full of cigarettes. Got somebody locked up, somebody you love, somebody you know, and you mess with them. After the first story, remember they're alive. Just because they're locked up don't mean they should be forgotten about, unless they got some heinous charges, did something involving a child or a woman. Then, you know, who cares? Lock them up, throw away the key. But if you got somebody in your life that just messed up, somebody you know that just went down the wrong path, check on them, man. There's a good chance that if ain't nobody looking after them, they might just be hungry, especially if they're in there trying to do the right thing and stay out of trouble. Secondly, the chow hall hustle. I will not say that working in the chow hall is a good job. It's not. But there's two different chow halls. There's the ones that the inmates eat in, and then there's what's called staff dining. Staff dining is where the guards eat. The guards do not eat what we eat. If we get beans on our tray, they get chicken. If we get meat rock, which is this, we call it meat rock because it looks like a rock, but it's made out of all this processed stuff they blend together and churn up that's left over, and then they bake it on a sheet. If we get meat rock, they get hot dogs. You, for say, work in staff dining, not only do you, when they're not looking, eat as much as what they're eating, you find a way to smuggle it back. Now, a man that ain't had a cheeseburger in 5 years will pay good money for a cheeseburger. McDonald's ain't got nothing on the prices. You'll pay for that cheeseburger while in prison. And he's going to make sure that when he makes your cheeseburger, it's double patty, double cheese, some grilled onions on it, maybe a strip or two of bacon, because they got all different things over in staff dining, right? I got a homeboy at the time, and I'm not going to say he was my homeboy. We talked a bit, but I wouldn't have really cared if, you know, he was there or not. He was more or less my homeboy because of what he had to offer, right? And him working in staff dining, a lot of times it would be hot in there. They leave the door propped open. So he would package stuff up, and guys had to walk past staff dining to go back to the building. He'd be, when the guard's not looking, step over to the door. Hey, pass something off one of the guys real quick. They put it inside their jacket. Might be 7, 8 cheeseburgers inside this guy's jacket. He would sell everything. Fish sandwiches, chicken, cheeseburgers, sausages, things a man is locked up. If you've been locked up many years, you haven't tasted, you haven't seen, you have thought about, dreamed about, your mouth gets all watery just thinking about. He's able to get this stuff back to the building, right? And I like dealing with dude because he wasn't one of those dudes that tried to smuggle things back on his sack. You know, he didn't take a bread bag and fill it full of cheeseburgers and put it between his legs and know which shift wasn't going to shake him down and come back with the old sweaty ball bag full of cheeseburgers, right? He would always wait till somebody came by and he knew which days, which guards would be on, and he'd pass it off. He'd make his way from behind the window where he's serving, wait till all the guards are gone out the chow hall. Now they're over there watching the inmates eat. One of the inmates walks by as one of his friends, boom, he passes it off. I locked in with him on these fish sandwiches, on his chicken, all this stuff. But one of the things he got that nobody else could really get their hands on was two things in particular, was peanut butter and raw eggs. You're probably thinking, that's a weird combination. Well, you're not eating the two together. It's just good to be able to, I worked out. Peanut butter is a high source of protein, so I would eat large amounts of peanut butter, you know, before working out, after working out, way more than what I needed. But that milk combined, bagels had a lot of protein. I would try to like go way beyond on the protein to feed my muscles. So I had contracts with dude to buy peanut butter. And he would always come through with the best deals. You're talking 3-4 pounds of peanut butter, enough that I can fill up. And they sell a little jar on peanut butter, but I could spend $4 with him and fill up 4 jars. And it saved me, 10, 15 bucks. The raw eggs, if you ain't never cooked a raw egg in the microwave, scrambled eggs, it's very possible. Go Google or YouTube, cooking eggs in a microwave. I would take the eggs, beat them up in the cup, beat them up in the bowl, put them in the microwave, watch them expand, stir them some more, watch them expand, and I got scrambled eggs whenever I want, right? I'd also take the eggs before I go to work out. Sometimes I'd take 2-3 eggs, scramble them in a cup. You could probably say this is disgusting, but it was all part of my workout routine. I'd take 2-3 eggs, stir them up in a cup, and drink them. Take a shot of coffee, like just a spoonful of coffee, put it in a cup, put a little tiny bit of water on it, and it's like slamming 3 Red Bulls. You know, you zinging out there working out, just going at it, right? The thing with the eggs is they have to stay cold. That's common sense. This ain't a chicken coop. We ain't trying to hatch chickens in here. The eggs got to stay cold. They've already been in freezers, so ain't no chicken going to hatch. But you get what I'm saying. It's going to do one thing and one thing only, and that's go bad. I'm waiting on him to bring back, the eggs one day, and he's supposed to pass them off to dude. They got a different guard on the shift. He can't get them out the chow hall, so he hides them. And what he would do is he would crack the eggs, put them into a glove or a bread bag. If you paid for 10 raw eggs, he put them in a bread bag, double it up, and it'd just be 10 raw eggs. You could see all the yolks. They wouldn't be popped. Well, he doesn't even get a chance to pass anything off, right? So everything he's got bagged up, he's got to throw away. He's got everything. He can't leave these raw eggs in his bag. And, come Monday, you get to him again. He wasn't working for the next few days. So he takes a whole bunch of eggs still in the shell, hides them. A lot of eggs, 30, 40 eggs. Finds a place in the chow hall back there where staff dining is to hide these eggs. We go on lock. They do what's called an annual lockdown, annual shakedown, where ever so often they just come through, lock the entire compound down. There is no movement. The guards are going to serve the food. Nobody's going anywhere. You're not leaving your building. If you're in a cell, you're not leaving your cell. And they're going to come through and they're going to tear this bitch up. They're going to search for any and everything you ain't supposed to have, looking for any and everything you ain't supposed to have, looking to write your ass a charge if you got something in your possession you shouldn't have. They're going to leave your cell looking like a hurricane ran through it. This is going to take place for about a week. And after a week or so, everything kind of slowly goes back to normal, right? He goes to work, takes these eggs first thing in the morning, and he's got them bambered. Ain't had a chance to crack them, ain't had a chance to put them in a bag. And this is a big ass sack of, just regular eggs in the shell. Dude comes by, he's like, I ain't get a chance to bag them up here. Hands them off to him. He's going to get back to the pod, crack them, put them in gloves, distribute them to everybody, right? He gets back that evening, and I'm like, what's up, man? Did you get on with the eggs? Because the guards would eat fried eggs. They would get boiled eggs. We get boiled eggs sometimes, too. Used to get fried eggs. They cut all that with the budget cuts back in about when we hit that depression shit, in like 2007. He gets the eggs back to the pod. He comes in that evening. Yeah, I got to bag them up. Right? I said, nah, you ain't. Look, if you got them, just let me get mine. Like, I ain't got to, I'm trying to work out this evening. I'm not trying to wait while you bag up all these eggs, man. Just give me what you owe me. So he gives me my 5 eggs. I go over to my bunk. I'm sitting there. We got about an hour. He just got back from work, from chow. We got about an hour till count clears. And we can go outside and, get our rec, go outside and work out. So I've got these eggs in my locker, right? And it's nothing new to me. It's just part of, the prison life. They call standby for chow. I take the eggs and I start cracking them and putting them in this cup. After I crack like the 3rd egg, I'm like, what the fuck is that smell? I smell the eggs. The eggs are rotten. They've been sitting now, percolating, just getting hot with no AC for over a week. And this dude had the audacity to pass these eggs out. It gets worse. After I cracked the 3rd egg, I'm like, man, what the fuck? I done poured these in my cup. Now my cup's gonna stink. My whole section where I sleep smells like rotted eggs. Now, if you smell the rotten egg, it's a bad smell, right? I go to dude and I'm like, yo, man, what type of time you on, man? This shit is, I don't know what's wrong with these eggs. He's like, bro, it ain't got, somebody else ended up telling us he had hid the eggs, right? Nah, man, no. They fresh. They're not fresh, man. Smell these eggs. These shits are rotted. You need to give me my money back, man. I'm not fucking with you no more. All right. He gives me my money back, right? I going about my business. It's another dude in our pod that is big on principles. And when I'm telling you, it's a crazy thing to think that a man locked up is so big on principles, when in the streets, a lot of these dudes would steal from their grandma, or, you know, rob an old lady. Like, a lot of these dudes didn't have no principles. But once they get locked up, it's, you gonna respect me, I'm a man. Hey, I got principles, I stand for something. That's a lot of these dudes that are just pieces of shit. But now they're locked up, principles are everything, right? Dude in my pod later that night, he's got his eggs. How he didn't hear by now that these eggs are bad, I don't know. Maybe he don't pay attention. Who knows? I don't know why he didn't know. He goes up to the microwave. This is a penny pinching dude. He ain't gonna use no 2-3 eggs at a time. He's gonna put them eggs on ice, crack one, stir it, eat him some eggs. He cracks the one egg, puts it in his bowl, starts stirring it, and smells it. I'm looking, I'm sitting not far from where dude's at. I'm up front in the day room watching the TV. And dude said, oh, this dude got games. These eggs is rotten. I ain't say nothing to him about my rotten eggs. I just kind of looked over at him like, dude is known for snapping. He's known for flipping out over the smallest thing. So I knew that with these eggs, it was going to be a problem behind it. He's done paid you money for them. You know, brung him some old nasty ass eggs. He goes back to his locker, gets one of the eggs, walks up on dude and says, yo, what's up with the eggs? Dude's like, what's up, man? He's like, the eggs smell bad. He's like, yeah, a couple people say they smell bad, man, but they should be fresh, man. I don't know what's going on. Well, you need to go ahead and give my money back, man. You tried to run game on me. That's how these people, a lot of these dudes think, man. Everybody thinks somebody's trying to get over with. Dude actually was. He should have thrown them damn eggs away, right? You trying to get over on me, I want my money back. He's like, look, I already had to get the money back to a couple different people. Oh, so you knew the eggs was bad. No, I didn't know. I mean, it was a chance. You just told me you paid everybody else. You need to pay me. Look, you're going to have to wait till I make some more money and I'll give you back. Dude takes his egg he's got in his hand and smacks him. Nasty ass, raw, rotten egg all over the side of this dude's face. Eggshell crushed all over the side of this dude's face. Not to mention the big ass handprint, the big flying hand emoji he just left right on the side of this dude's face with egg yolk going down the side of his face. Dude reaches down, opens his locker, grabs a whole bunch of shit out of it, and walks off. Good job to have. But do what you're supposed to do. If you're going to be a thief, and you're going to try to make a living off of stealing out the penitentiary, you're going to try to make a living out of stealing out of staff dining, you better make sure you come correct. Somebody might crack your egg. Somebody might just bust your yolk. If y'all enjoyed today's stories, trying to fall back from some of the violence that comes to prison, with prison for a moment. Try to give y'all a little more insight on the things you don't think about or you don't hear about that take place, place in prison. I got a banger for y'all tomorrow, man. Tomorrow's gonna be a rough one to say the least. I thought about it last night. Was gonna talk about it today. I said, nah, I'll save it for midweek. I'll drop this gem on them come Wednesday. But yeah, like I told y'all, thievery is real. Sneak thieving, conniving. Some slick dudes in prison. Some stupid rules in prison. What I say? It always ends bad. Out here in the real world, it always ends bad. Just do what's right. Go with the flow. And most times, you're going to find that you're going to turn out all right. Everything will be okay. But I appreciate y'all watching today's video. That's what it is. These detention homes, jails, prisons, penitentiaries, they're just crazy worlds inside of this already crazy world we live in. And as always, y'all know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to keep y'all entertained. Are you not entertained? And like always, this is Jay Williams. Let's live life. To all my real ones and the awesome real ones watching. Because y'all still watching me. Y'all know how we do. Salute.